Hello everyone. So, a couple of weeks ago, I had an amazing opportunity to interview Amrut Deshmukh, aka the Booklet guy, who transformed his love for reading into his purpose of life. He is known for reviving the reading habit through his book summaries. He touches the lives of those million Indians who wish to read books but lack the time to do so. Every week, he reads a best selling book and prepares a 20-minute book summary, and the most recent one, a tiny booklet. He also records summaries in his own voice and shares through Booklet, a free app developed by him. More than 5 lakh Indians are now part of his initiative. The initiative is known as Make India Read. Amrut is a chartered accountant, a social entrepreneur, and a TEDx speaker. He strongly believes that books and reading habit can make us think differently and provide better perspectives to our lives. Through his app Booklet, he is determined to achieve the mission Make India Read. Now, without much ado, let's start with today's interview as here we look forward to get an insight into the lesser known side of the booklet guy and his secret to success. So, happy birthday.
Thank
Since
you.
it's your birthday today
Thank you.
and I have lots of gifts for you.
You coming to ask questions on my birthday itself is a gift for me.
Okay. So, this is a book.
Oh wow. So interview cancelled, I got a book. So I'm going to start reading.
No, please don't do that. This is for you to write nice
Okay,
things.
wonderful.
Since we got to know that you are into this healthy lifestyle, so
Yeah.
fruits.
Fruits. Are okay.
And this, since I am a Japanese language learner, this is like origami bookmarks, which is like over here I've written Jinsei no kami o oru, which means like we need. I feel life is full of folds, so at every turn there's a new learning. So Jinsei no kami o oru, and here
Wonderful.
have a look at it. Butterfly bookmarks. You can share it to anybody who comes to read books with
Wow,
you.
nice. So it's without cutting the paper. That's
Yes,
called
that's origami.
Wow. What else can I expect on a birthday? Yeah. Great. So are we going to talk in Japanese?
No, we'll talk in English. There's a hint of Japanese, but no, we'll speak in English. Majorly English. So let's start. So coming from a humble background, your trust with books was through your elder brother who had warned everybody around you to like gift you books on your birthday. So the first book you went on to read was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So tell us, how was your childhood? What were your hobbies, your favorite pastimes? Was there any sport you enjoyed back then?
Yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad was my first non-fiction book,
Okay.
which I read after my 10th exams.
Okay.
If you ask me first book of my life, as far as I remember, I mean other than the magazines and those comics, I think the first book that I admired was Shamchi Ai.
Okay. Oh, Shamchi
Gifted to
Ai.
me by my mother, Sani Guruji's, and I fell in love with that stories. About my childhood, I think my character is highly influenced by my elder brother, as you rightly said, and amazing parenting from a non-parent. I mean, he was technically not my parent, but being a fourth child of the family and a very late comer. Maybe I was an unplanned child because my mother was very old. My parents were very old when I was born, and so they might have lost the interest or whatever. I'm glad that I was not exposed to overparenting,
Okay.
which my brother had to because he was the first child of the family. And so my brother and sister indirectly took charge of my parenting, and my mother and father were like grandfathers to me.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I think this is a blessing in disguise. This is not a complaint that I was ignored by my father. I'm thankful because my sister and brother not being technically parents, quasi parents, they gave me all the freedom. They allowed me to fall down and then helped me to get up. I still remember an event where I was doing very well in tabla.
Okay.
I had cleared 3 exams in first class, and then I started losing interest. I used to bunk the classes, and one day I expressed my desire that I don't want to continue with tabla. And everybody, my mother, what are you crazy? You have invested so much, you are doing very well, your sir is proud of you. Are you crazy? But I think my brother only stood by me and said that let him take his own decision. And he said, why do you want to discontinue? I said, I want to try something else now, maybe drawing or table tennis. And he backed my decision. So I think this autonomy, or that I have a say in my family,
Right.
at such a young age, I think played a big role in my life, where I learned to try new things. So leaving something incomplete is nothing bad about it.
Okay.
He used to say that try everything and then you will discover your purpose. Unless you don't try many things, how will you know that you like tabla, or you like drawing, or you take table tennis, or you want to join army, whatever.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the common complaint that parents make is that मेरा बच्चा settle नहीं होता है, he's short term, or his span of attention is very low in one thing. This is good. Confusion is the first step towards clarity. How can a parent ask a 10-year-old child, what do you want to become after 10 years? He doesn't know how much what time he's going to be on the next
He's
day.
not even aware of his own potential.
Exactly.
Right, makes sense.
So I think confusion is very good, and that will take you to clarity. And I think I was very lucky to have such a beautiful childhood in my
Indeed.
family.
Moving on, before venturing into Booklet, you did try your hands on other startups. So please tell us, how did you gather courage to stand up, like once again?
In fact, people ask that in spite of 3 failed startups, you had the courage to start the 4th one. No, not in spite, because of the 3 failed startups,
Okay.
the 4th one is doing well. Had I got this idea as the first startup, Booklet had been the first startup, would have doomed.
Oh.
So these are the stepping stones.
Stepping stones.
It's like an MBA course. Whatever losses I made, I treated it as a course fee. Anyway, people spend lakhs of rupees in B schools. So I learned many things. I had a perfection syndrome. So one of the startups was e-learning.
Okay.
So I wanted to teach CA students for free through beautiful videos and assignments online. The idea was a little ahead of time because internet was not so strong.
Yes.
Videos used to buffer a lot initially, and I locked myself inside the room for 6 months, making perfect videos, lecture videos, without taking any feedback from the students. And then I came out of the room. So now I have won. I'll show my surprise to the students. And so I called one of my favorite students, showed him the first lecture video of accounting or costing, and within 5 minutes he went to sleep.
Okay.
And I got the feedback. So the perfection syndrome.
Yes.
So what I learned was that there is a thing called launching nowadays. You just do something minimum with minimum time, effort, and give it to the people. In the world of connectivity, it's so easy. And that's why when I got this idea of Booklet, I just made the first summary of Abdul Kalam's Wings of Fire and just shared it on WhatsApp to 10 of my friends. I did not think of a startup. Mission Make India Read Booklet, no, that came later. When I started getting feedbacks, positive feedbacks that yes, it is very accessible, very easy to read on WhatsApp. That boosted my confidence. That gave me that you never get idea in a full shape. You only get clearer as you work on them. It's not the starting idea, the layers of ideas that you put on as part of execution. So all these things, the previous startups, I'm glad that I failed in those 3 startups.
It's a very great thing that, with different or small stepping stones, this whole idea conceptualized.
Agreed.
Now you don't just post summaries in text format but also in audio format. So for recording audios, like I do have tried my part on recording audios and I know that it's a bit tricky, like getting the proper intonation, like where to pause and that all. So how did you master this technique of like recording audios? Like you read in a such a way that one might like consider reading a child. I want to read the book which he is talking about. So how did you master the skills?
As I said, I have a hidden teacher within me, okay, who likes to explain stuff passionately. What that underlying concept might be anything.
Okay.
Those days in my CA it was debits and credits and costing. Then I thought, why only debits and credits? Why not the big ideas from the Sudha Murthy's and the Robin Sharma's? So if you see, no, I personally enjoy explaining things, and I know being a teacher. I was a teacher for CA students for 2-3 years, where I got the confidence that yes, students like my teaching, they understand my concept. So I found those secret formulas of how to explain things in the most simplest possible way without simplifying them. Like if I want you to understand a new piece of knowledge, how can I connect it to your existing piece of knowledge which you already know?
Yes.
Relate to your past experience using an analogy or a metaphor. That will help you to understand the new concept. So if you see, all the ideas that I share is backed up by my personal customized anecdotes, examples which are different from the authors.
Yes.
In fact, the best compliment I ever got amongst thousands, that sometimes you explain better than the author.
Okay.
And I got tears of joy on that. Because I Indianize the examples. Whether it's burger, I will use vada pav.
Vada pav, right.
These things are very important. We don't remember the concepts, we remember the examples, illustrations,
yes.
stories, and as a byproduct, we remember the concept.
So it's a very good thing that your thing of building rapport with students help you in this way of explaining
Correct.
things.
An unconventional CA.
Right.
And I love explaining. I said, no, if I myself enjoy, you will enjoy listening to me.
Right. This is what our teacher in college used to say, that we enjoy teaching you Japanese, that is the result while you all enjoy learning the language. Speaking of Japanese, being a language enthusiast, I often encounter difficulties in paraphrasing. So could you share some tips on
Oh, this is my favorite topic. This is part of my next book.
Okay.
Paraphrasing is the most underrated feature of any learning process or even reading habit. I am very lucky that I was indirectly taught paraphrasing right from my childhood, thanks again to my elder brother. So when I was a child, as a student in 4th, 5th, 6th grade, there was something called guidebooks. Where we used to get the model answers ready-made.
Yes.
And most of my friends used to copy those. Yeah. And but my brother had made a rule in my house that no guide will be bought for you ever. You just have to read the chapter, whether it is language based, whatever, and close the book and answer the question in your own personal broken desi vocabulary.
Okay.
It was very frustrating. It was tempting to open the book. I said, if you forget the concept, go and check the book, again close it and reproduce in your own words. I think this is a very important thing. Words are not important. The meaning is important.
Summarizing in your own words.
If you keep the book open or take somebody else's answers, you are lost in the language of that author, the writer.
Right.
Whereas words are not important. Like for example, I might say this sofa is crowded. You might say it is cluttered.
Cluttered. Right. It's not the vocabulary, but your understanding of.
We use the word irrespective of. Americans say regardless.
Regardless.
We don't use the word regardless. Now, if I try to imitate his words, I'll struggle to retain, to recollect. I'll use the word regardless or irrespective, being an Indian English. These are the small things. And no wonder why I'm able to explain better now. Because I'm using my own, I'm used to reproducing it, paraphrasing it in my own words. So don't shy away with your vocabulary. We have enough vocabulary. Okay, you know any language. 80% of the conversation happens in 20% of the words. Total words available in that language. The daily conversation. Those are enough. Enriching the vocabulary will come as a byproduct of reading habit. You don't have to work specially on your vocabulary. And what's the use of using heavy words which you are not going to understand? That is not communication. Communication means you should understand what I am saying. When I keep boasting my vocabulary, you will just keep nodding and you are not understanding anything. What's the use?
Sure.
I have failed as a teacher.
Right.
So yes, you
very
raised a very
helpful.
valid point. Paraphrasing is so important. Let's use a simpler word for it. Is that reproducing in your own words?
In simpler words
Yes,
that we are
yeah,
able to
yeah.
understand. I'll definitely, this is very helpful tip. I'll definitely like implement this in my interpretation job, because that is what is now, because you have to explain whatever the other person has said in simpler words.
Yes.
Definitely a
Correct.
useful tip. Thank you. Next, what's your take on generative learning models like ChatGPT? Like, do you feel there's a scope for its assistance in summary writing for you?
It's a great tool, but then it is like I'm not taking a pill to lose weight,
Okay.
a shortcut, because I'll be losing out. As I said, the process of learning is more important than learning.
Right.
The way I learn things, no, and then see, as a byproduct, teachers rewarded with abundant marks because they found my answers very different from others. So Gisa Pita, everybody had the same answers, model answers from the guidebooks. Mine turned out to be different, yet the same outcome and meaning. They were delighted to give me more marks. So how you learn, the process is more important. So if you just, nowadays homework is done by students by going to ChatGPT.
Yes,
I
yes.
think this is very dangerous. I'm not blaming ChatGPT. In some areas, it will be a blessing for humanity. But I think for summaries, I'll never use it. It will be like cheating on you as well. No, I should understand the book and then go one step ahead of the author
Yes.
and think, see how can I can use it in my daily life, or if it is relevant or not relevant, I'll quit the book. I'll not summarize it for you.
Right.
But
And
if I
just
simply,
like you said before, like you give Indianized metaphors, similes,
Yes.
so that touch would be lost. Makes sense. Next, amidst all of the struggles, there are times when we have mental breakdowns and everything, but there are always some people cheering us up to like stay strong. So, who are the people in your life who always motivated you to like keep going, say stay strong?
my initial role models when I was in stock market were Harshad Mehta,
Okay,
Vijay Mallya, Ketan Parekh.
interesting.
They all are either dead or behind bars. And now, as I started my serious reading journey, my role models are Mahatma Gandhi, Swami Vivekananda, Dr. Kalam. So role models are so important. I was so money-minded in my stock market days that I was about to commit suicide. I had no people in my life. And right now, I have nothing but people in my life. And rest of the things are automatically taken care of. So you see, role models are so important. So important. I am a standing example where I had the highest bank balance, where I was earning 5 lakh, 10 lakhs a month. And I used to hear galis from my clients because stock market is white collar gambling. Educated gamblers are there around me. Today perhaps I have the least bank balance ever in my career. But people like you are respecting me across the world. So I'm a standing example that your bank balance and respect has nothing to do with each other. Gandhiji, I asked myself that what was the income source of Gandhiji? No, people. If you have people, whether you're a businessman, fitness trainer, artist, booklet guy, doesn't matter what you offer to the world. If you win the hearts of people, the trust of people, rest all the things will be taken care of.
I agree on this. Like my grandfather, before he left us, the last words which he said was like, आयुष्यात माणसांना जग, पैशापाठी धावू नकोस, but माणसांना जग. So it's a very useful tip. Next, you have been reading lots of books since a long time. So have you kept a count of books that you have been reading?
Of course, yes. You want to know the number?
Yes.
It's 1,887.
Okay, that's
88
really
is on
huge.
my desk right now.
Really huge. Next, there's this lots of conversation going on about striking a balance between work life and personal life. So what's your take? How to deal with this? So because since I started recently working on, I got to hear a lots of tips from my seniors, from my friends, that it becomes very difficult to like strike a balance between both work life and personal life. So any tip, like how do I deal with it?
I don't believe in work-life balance.
Okay.
The moment you say work-life balance, You are saying when you are working you don't have life? Then don't work.
Irony.
Quit that work and switch. Go to somewhere else. Work and life, right? It's work-life integration. Everything is one. Life is one integral whole. You can't be right in one area of life while being wrong
In
in
another
area.
one, right.
No. A CEO who is cheating on his wife at home will be sought as a bad leader in his office. It can't be, many people try to be, pretend to be disciplined in office, they keep the desk clean, and when they come home they'll throw away the socks, my wife will take care of. No, the character will be seen somewhere. How you do anything is how you do everything.
Oh, that's really
So social life, personal life, work life. Now what are we doing right now? You are in my house. So personal life. We are talking about booklet. So what? Professional life.
Professional life.
Today is my birthday. So what? Social life. It's everything the same.
Right.
We love to departmentalize everything because we like to be seen as intellectual creatures.
Right. We like to keep everything in this airtight containers wherein this is this and this is that. This is really very helpful for me, for persons like me who are just starting out. And then I
We
never
ourselves
knew
shy
this.
away to talk about personal things in office. Why? Why can't an employee say that, boss, I'll be late today because I had a fight with my wife. I'm not mentally fit right now. Can I come late by 2 hours? If the boss is empathetic, he will consider, because he must be also fighting with his wife. He knows.
This is actually a great way of looking out at things. New learning for me. Next, in order for the Booklet app to be widespread as it is today, could you share some of your key marketing strategies which you used, to reach out to more people?
I think more than strategy, it's about ideology.
Okay.
Nowadays, we youngsters feel ashamed to talk about values because there are some fancy ideas like blockchain and chat GPT and driverless cars and space tourism and AIs and deep learning. They are all great things, but nothing can be as important as your own set of values, personal values. I'm not talking about the values that were taught in Bal Bharati text in 4th standard. I'm talking about reading habit is my personal value. It's an ideology, and I will live with it, right? And then you will get inspired through my actions, not through my words, not through my preaching. Booklet app is just a stupid, tangible evidence of my belief, of my ideology. That is not everything. You are not here because of the design, beautiful design of Booklet app. You are here for my values, for the things I do on daily basis.
The initiative. It's in a true sense of what we call practice what you preach.
Yeah. So interestingly, there are more than 50 reading apps on internet or on App Store and Apple Store. Not a single reading app is more than 1000, 2000 downloads. I was surprised. Some apps have got better content than mine. I admit openly. Beautiful summaries. And then, because I stand for the category called reading habit and not for Booklet app, they all started approaching me. I became the leader of the category. And I started studying them. What is going wrong with them? I really want you to grow. I realized that themselves are not passionate readers. For them, it's a code, and it's a book is a commodity to be used to enhance profits.
Enhance profits, like gain more money, profits, right? It's actually, like I said before, it's actually in a true sense practice what you preach. Because until and unless you practice what you preach, you are not able to convince 100% or maybe add more people to what ideologies you follow or gain more support. Right.
Initially it was passion driven, I admit. It was passion driven. And then once you put your passion to use for other people, the service of others, that becomes purpose, becomes dharma.
Yes.
If I had only been passionate about, I would have kept my reading for myself. I would have been happy.
Right.
Now that I'm using my passion for you, for your benefit, for your growth, it becomes purpose, and that gives me sense of fulfillment when I go to bed every night.
Right.
Happiness is not enough. Fulfillment, a sense of contribution is a bigger source of happiness for us.
The satisfaction which we get.
Yes.
Right. So now moving on, reading to a certain extent has been limited, to the just up to the conventional ways of book, maybe or Kindle and online copying, or maybe for like people like me, downloading a pirated version of the book from internet and reading it. So no doubt we still have audio formats, but still, what's your take on facilitating books to the differently able class of the society?
Okay. See, coming to adapting to the new technologies of reading, we have this selective what do you call it? Selective adaptation of technology.
Okay.
When it came to movies, nobody said that I don't like that Netflix. I like to go to the theater and have this popcorn and watch the movie. Nobody, everybody embraced Netflix. Easily this
There was a
transition.
shift, right?
When it comes to books, no Amrut, no, I like that feel of physical book, the smell. वो feel नहीं आता है Kindle में.
I've heard this a lot.
Selective modernization. I think learning, the main objective is to learn something that the author knows which I don't know. That's the whole objective of reading a non-fiction. Fiction, I can understand, it's more towards entertainment. That doesn't mean we don't learn from fiction. It's more about entertainment. So I think then the medium is not important. Book is just a stupid medium to transfer the thoughts of the author into my mind. How does it matter that it's going through your eyes, ears, by listening to audio summaries or audible, or reading on Kindle or PDF, watching Steve Jobs' interview on YouTube is as good as reading part of his biography.
Right.
It's about learning, but I think this is the most distraction-free. I admit, most distraction-free. I keep my mobile away and lock myself inside the room. Then nobody is going to interview. But I'm watching Steve Jobs' interview.
There are these random pop-ups
the autoplay button will take me to Nura Fateh and Alia Bhatt. That's the problem.
And additionally, there are these different pop-ups which are coming on. You're like, oh, there's a message from somebody. Let me reply to it. Right.
In fact, internet reading is made for shallow reading.
Okay.
They can't survive. If you go in deep reading and ignore all those pop-ups, how will they make money?
Right.
And hence those hyperlinks where we click, go to the new page, within 5 minutes you realize we have opened 10 tabs on Google Chrome and you're lost. Where did you start from? Because they want us shallow reading to maximize their revenue from ads.
Right. So I have this friend whose like elder sister, she cannot listen, like she cannot hear and she cannot speak. But like she in her school, like she goes to a school where there are differently able people like her, and then over there she reads books through Braille. But there are very few books available which could be like which they could read. So is there any scope like the Booklet app to reach people like these?
So she's mute and she's deaf.
Yes.
Okay, that's tricky. But then what about her eyesight? Because multiple disability, can she read through her eyes?
She can, but that is also not that great. So she reads through Braille language.
Okay. I think tactile books is the only solution for them. Yeah, I mean, for blind people, this is like a boon for them.
Yes.
They listen
They
to
can
all
hear the
book
audio
summaries
formats.
and almost 10 lakh I think 1 lakh downloads are from these young graduate blind people of India.
Wow.
And
That's
I've made
amazing.
some changes in the code which makes the accessibility more easier for visually impaired people. But this multiple disability is a unique situation that you have
Yes.
told me. I will have to think over it. So very good opportunity for me.
Speaking of, you spoke about the code. So how do you deal with the technical aspect of the app? Like if there's a technical glitch, how do you come up with the solution? Like do you have friends helping you out in this, or do you manage everything individually?
See, I'm not a technical guy. I don't understand those codes and
Technical
Java
aspect.
and all. So I have a very good friend in Pune called Sanjot Shah. And I had changed IT team 4 times during the journey. I was frustrated with their false promises and the culture in the IT industry in India. Then I realized my mistake that if they are not passionate about the why,
Initiative.
book, if they are not readers,
Right.
nothing is going to work. Until I met him, that he is a crazy book lover And no wonder, we are working for last like 4 5 years now, and I'm very satisfied with his services. And he goes out of the way. He doesn't treat me like a client. He comes out and, Amrut, we should do this. This will help enrich the reading experience. We come up with some amazing ideas in next few months, where we are going to use cricket analogies, like IPL, Indian Premier League. We are going to start Indian Booklet League, where there will be like reading cricket matches in corporates. The different departments will play reading matches, and then there will be leagues, semi-final, final. Questions will be asked based on the summary. So one question is one ball, and if you give the right answer, you hit a 4. If you give 2 wrong answers, you are out. So unknowingly they will be reading 30-35 books without their knowledge, because they are lost in the game now.
This is very nice, like having people who share the same purpose or who have the same zeal like us. It's very helpful.
That's the message. When an employer takes interviews of prospective candidates, they look at their CV and the technical
aspect of what their qualifications.
What we have to check is, are they sharing the culture, the ideologies with my organization? That is more important.
Right.
Smartness can be taught by Google. These things can be taught. If a person doesn't believe in books, there is no point if he has a PhD degree and hiring him in Booklet.
Right, I agree. So today it's your birthday, and it's also a special day all over Japan wherein people celebrate Tanabata, which is the star festival. So Tanabata is celebrated to commemorate the romantic love story of two lovers separated by the stars Vega and Altair, who are only allowed to meet each other once a year on the 7th day of the 7th lunar month, which is the 7th of July. On Tanabata, people write wishes on small paper, which is called Hanzaku, and hang them on bamboo trees. So Amrut, tell us, what's your wish for an ideal romantic partner? I was told by many of my friends to please ask him this question. So it's on public demand.
Who will romance with an unromantic guy who will read a book on a date? Huh?
But still, what are the ideal qualities you are looking for in a life partner? Like, she should be this, she should be that.
Honestly, in a purpose-driven life, I might sound philosophical, but in a purpose-driven life, everything else becomes distraction. And I feel that not only one person should get my attention. I really have this feeling of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, where it is my national responsibility to make India read. And so I've decided that I'll remain single for the rest of my life. It's a thoughtful, it's not to gather any sympathy, because I'm enjoying this journey so much of giving that it will be injustice on her, because I've surrendered myself to this higher purpose. So probably
it's a great cause for you, but a lot of disappointment to all the girls who had told me to please ask this question.
I'm open for friendship.
Okay.
Platonic friendship.
Now we'll go head towards the rapid fire round. So are you ready? You need to answer everything fast, okay? So once again with the most obvious, your current read.
I'm reading 4 books right now. One is Shashi Tharoor's. Second, I'm reading The Speed of Trust by Stephen Covey's son has written it. Third, I'm reading the Book of No, 365 Ways of Saying No.
Interesting.
Without hurting the other person.
Next is your favorite book.
My favorite book?
Difficult to choose an answer, but still.
I always have my all-time favorite book, which keeps changing every week. So right now, I think I've fallen in love with a book written by Sheryl Sandberg, the ex-CEO of Facebook. She has written a book called Option B.
Option B?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she had lost her husband in one of the accidents. And now that option A is not available, what is option B?
Option B, right.
It's on the same theme. Very, very inspiring book. Especially every lady on this earth should read that book.
And the name also is interesting. Like in life, we always have an option A, but we fail to think about what if this does not work out, what do I do next? It's very important, I feel. Next, any translated book you have read and would like to read in the original script? This is again because I am a Japanese language learner. There are lots of books that I've read it in English but would like to read someday, like in Japanese.
Ikigai?
So, Ikigai. Okay. 3 adjectives that best describe the present you.
What is the opposite? Okay, I'm not self-motivated. It is not an adjective, it is an anti-adjective. People think that I am amazingly self-motivated guy. No, I am not. Crazy? Crazy maverick? Yeah, I'm a maverick. I'm a rebel who love to defy the status quo, challenge the status quo. So I'm a maverick. Third, bibliophile.
Okay. Then this ends with the rapid fire round. Then what would be your one tip for parents or adults who wish to like inculcate reading habits into the children? Because I have a niece and then she is like, I don't want to read books, मुझे video ही देखना है, I will do only just that. So what's your tip? How do we as adults or like elder cousins make them read, or how do parents like take an initiative to make sure that their children get this habit of reading?
Now this common feedback from many people that you should do something for children. Any habit that is cultivated at childhood remains for lifelong. This is one set of people saying. There's another major set of people saying that Amrut, I used to read a lot when I was a child. But now you see the contradiction.
Yes,
so it's a myth that you have to cultivate reading habit in childhood. You can cultivate at any time if you want. Point number 1. Second, you said we have to practice and not preach.
Preach, yes.
Be the change you wish to see in others.
See in the world, yes.
So it's not about telling the children to read. How many books her mom has read in last 1 year? Ask her. Yeah. If we are watching TV, kids will watch TV. We are on mobile, they will be on mobile. I met to see a family where parents are voracious readers and children hate to read books. Impossible. चोर के घर में चोरी पैदा हो. So kids do what we do, not what we say. So what we have to do is, whatever you read, even if it is not children's book, Atomic Habits. Beta, I learned this from this book. One big idea that you learn. Don't tell him to read the book. Don't preach him. Tell the one big idea on the dining table passionately.
Passionately, right.
And leave it to him.
Yes.
That's it. Regardless of whether he understands or not. Don't go to his level. Alile, ulul. Don't talk his language. Talk as if you are talking to an adult. This works.
Then, with such an igniting mission of Make India Read, if anyone wishes to join, now I could see there were like people who are into your mission. So if anybody else wishes to join this mission, is there avenue for like any volunteering stuff? How do they join in this mission?
Oh yeah, of course, as I said, it's a social enterprise. So resources are always scarcely available, mainly manpower. So you all can work from home. You just need an internet and laptop. And it's amazing, as I shared the idea of Indian Booklet League.
Yes.
So we have to generate questions and 3 answers, out of which 2 will be wrong, 1 will be right. More interesting activities are in and around books, which you can work from home. Just have to drop me an email at bookletguy@gmail.com expressing your intention to help, and we all together can work on Mission Make India Read.
So now guys, you know that you all have to email him and then you all can join, be a part of this amazing mission. Now coming to the last question of today's this interview, how would you like to be remembered?
I think I'm living a very paradoxical life where Booklet Guy's success would be Mission Make India Read's failure.
Okay, I get
You know
the
why?
thing, yes.
If you need Booklet Guy for
Yes.
next 10 years, that means you are still not a
mission
book
is
lover,
yes.
you need summaries.
That
they
means
will,
India has not inculcated the idea of reading, right?
So Booklet app is a hit, it's not a good sign. I would like to die as a failure. So people will not remember me, they are so engrossed in the books, they have forgotten about book summaries and Booklet Guy.
That's amazing.
I wish it comes true, but I know this
Let's
is...
hope for it. Once again, thanks a lot for your precious time and happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you so much. What a better gift I can expect on a birthday. Amazing questions. I loved answering
Thank
those
you.
questions. Thank you so much. Happy reading and wish me happy birthday.
Happy
Bye-bye.
reading. Bye bye.
मस्त है यार, मस्त बोलीस.
Thank you.
Super.